And I'm gonna let the action talk for itself out there. I watched a lot. There's no reason to.
He kicks it.
He
kicks it too.
There's a pass. Another one.
You need your back?
The back of my head.
I wanted to make sure it worked.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to stay as much. Like, I don't want to pay for the ball. I'm not like a taller 13. I'm not like passion for me.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to New Lexington High School, where today we'll have the Panthers hosting Warren Local. Alongside today, I'm Kevin Rao, alongside Brandon Hannes. And Brandon, again, we go in the morning, but man, this field is always fun to come to no matter what time it is.
Oh, exactly. As I said, Jim Rockwell Stadium has so much history to it, and obviously the soccer program here is still kind of in the early phase of it as it tries to kind of build its way up here. But it's just an exciting place to be. The turf's brand new. They had to repaint it there after last year, and so just excited about what's ahead here for the soccer season.
So we'll have the starting lineups now being introduced, as we always try to get the goalkeepers at this point because they typically don't have numbers in their front. For Warren, it'll be Hayden Wells, the senior. In fact, he is a three-time letter winner, so he spent a lot of time in net for Warren. And for New Lexington, it will be, well, let's make sure their goaltender has not turned his back to us since we've been here, so we'll wait for that introduction. We want to get it right. It's not on our sheet. And again, the starting lineup's being introduced. The numbers for New Lex today, Brandon, will be easy to tell. Thank you. We'll send them a gift card after this is over because it does make it easy. And their keeper is Nate Alex. And he has been introduced. So, again, it'll be Hayden Wells for Warren, Alex for New Lexington.
So, I was going to say, both teams have really easy numbers read today, so we should be able to keep up with that really well.
Well, you just sank us, though, all right? So that'll be your job now to make sure. But we are glad to be here. Our production today is presented by the 21st Century Program at New Lexington High School. If you'd like to enroll in that program or get more information, contact the school. And, of course, South 60 Films streaming this is the official streaming partner of New Lexington Athletics. So, again, it'll be New Lex in the orange shirts and the black numerals, Warren in white, and probably dark green, I'm going to guess. They're maybe black numerals. And we also have a lot of neon cleats out there, which I wish I'd had in my day. Would have made me look a little faster in the various sports I played. And we are about ready to go. It looks as though the kickoff will go to Warren as they go from right to left on your screen. And now the goaltenders are in place, and we are about ready to go. Put 40 minutes on the clock here in the first half. And off we go. See what kind of attack Warren starts. They're going to go right up the right side, trying to gain ground there toward the net. Nobody there to find it on the pass, but still collected by Warren on the left side. Zach Holman running the point for Warren. Midfielder. Intercepted. Taken by New Lex. Off they go. Got help on the right side. Good defense and right back at it all the way upfield. Let's see how New Lex defends it. Beaten to the ball. That is Remy Fairbanks. On the defense for New Lex, number 25 in your screen there. That is Sam Roop. And knocked out. Yep.
Force a goal kick there, so good defense there by Sam.
Yeah, he was beat initially, but then did a good job to get back to the ball. So Alex will go short with it as New Lex tries to attack the zone, but stolen away. Nifty footwork right in front, but good defense. It looked as though Tave early was going to get to the goal, but good defense pushed him off the ball, and then a kick out of there by Alex all the way to midfield. Headed down to the turf, but came back up and got him. Able to stay with it, however, and make a play. Taken away by New Lex, intercepted out there by Andre Spicer. Tries to move it ahead, but taken away by the Warren defense and then kicked, and it'll be a throw-in for Warren. So each team kind of feeling the other out here, Brandon.
Oh, yeah, it was early in the season. I mean, they probably both got a few scrimmages in, but it's just getting that feel of actual varsity action, knowing that this game actually means something.
It's going to be on their record at the end of the – as we used to say, on their permanent record at the end of the day. So Warren trying to find a way to attack. Each time they've brought it in, the New Lex defense has been very good. A kick downfield. Let's see who can get to the ball first. It will be Max Himmeldirk that will get it. We'll move it to his goaltender, Wells. And Warren again on the attack, moving into the midfield, and it'll be knocked out of there, a throw-in for Warren. Nope, it's going to go New Lex way. Ahead it comes, and right back out. The unheralded heroes of this game are the ball boys and girls that work the sidelines, allow the action to keep going. Keep an eye on that throughout this game. Stolen away by Mildenstein. And Warren gets it right back. Now it heads toward the goal. On the attack is Ian Gardner. Still with the ball, but then kicked out of there. Intercepted in the middle by Fairbanks. And good save right there. As Alex positioned himself correctly and took the kick right in his chest. All the way downfield, who's going to get there first, and it will be the goaltender, Wells. Put left hand out. Both teams trying to work around the defense. So far, the defensive players, the defenders, have been very good. Here's a little bit of a break with a person in the middle, and we're going to get a goal. And on that goal, let's see if we can get him to turn around a little bit for us. I think it's the player on the far side there. But I thought he might pass it to the middle. He had to play there, but a good kick. And it is, well,
Was it number 3?
I think it was, well, that would be Kyle Anthony. And I believe you're right. I think it was number 3. Want to make sure we give credit to the person who scored. So that makes it 1-0.
Sorry, I jinxed this at the beginning.
That's all right. You got to jump in there, man. Save me.
On
No. It was you did. As a matter of fact, is again,
you're on.
Kyle Anthony able to get that one to go and give Warren the lead about 4 minutes into the match. So you're thinking about the early going here.
Well, I was going to say, it looks like Warren has been able to attack them. They're just trying to find that space to get some goals there. And, for New Lex, is kind of looking at roster. Obviously, a lot of young guys out there with, 5 sophomores and a few freshmen, playing in there. So, and plus, only 12, 13 kids on the roster. So they're not very deep. So what they have out there is kind of who's going to be playing most of the time. So, for Warren, it looks like they're definitely controlling the ball there. So New Lex is probably just trying to get a feel for who's going to step up for them on the offensive end.
Baker had it for the Panthers deep, but taken away from him, and now Warren will throw it in. Yeah, these are such valuable games. We always talked in any sport about the best practices are right after the first game because you know now how it feels out there.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell that they're just kind of getting that feel for each other. I mean, they're only 5 minutes into the season, and there's a lot to kind of get that comfortability out there and just get used to what everyone's supposed to do.
Riley Stoltz for the Nets chased that one down the field. He's one of those freshmen that Brandon was talking about. Warren attacks this time left side.
Another offside.
Up, the offsides. Flag went up.
So New Lex is trying to draw them, up with their defense. So they're trying to get Warren caught off sides there. Sometimes that usually plays your favor, but when it doesn't, that usually leads to a pretty open opportunity.
Well, you get that big lofting pass over the top, and you find out who's the fastest guy on the field.
So I think just getting used to offsides early in the season would be the toughest part for soccer. You don't see it a lot in your scrimmages, and so just understanding it takes a little bit of getting used to.
One, you can tell that that's some set pieces that they like to run from the midfield. And again, they've not offsides this time. As chasing it down is Rishi Singh. Crosses. And then they scored the goal from the right side before. Let's see if they've set that up. Into the middle it goes, but good defense, and then kicked out of there. Again, that was Sam Roop getting a leg on it to get that initial attack countered. But Warren right back at it. The New Lex defense sinks in, and that'll go into the side of the net and be a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, New Lex's defense is definitely getting tested, and made some nice stops so far to kind of give themselves a chance, early in this game. But Warren is starting to find some of that space, it looks like.
And that is the key for a lot of people. If you're new to the game, a lot of analysts will liken it to the basketball fast break, where you try to get some space, and that way you can cross and have even more space. So we'll see how they do that. And New Lex is just trying to find a way to get into the Warren zone to get something on net. Headed forward, trying to beat the defense, but there to counter it was Cole Furby. And New Lex on the attack, but then pushed off the ball, and Warren, again, really dominating that midfield area to try to get themselves in the right spot. And you can see how they do work that spacing that Brandon was talking about.
I mean, they make very crisp passes. You can tell they're a team that's probably played together a lot. I mean, obviously they got several seniors on this roster, so there's probably a lot of familiarity there to, compared to New Lex, as you put some underclassmen in some tough spots.
Passing going to the right side and well over the net will be a goal kick. But you can see the game within the game that Warren is playing to be able to, again, try to create that space. And the best thing you can do is get a little space for a cross and then have somebody beating the defense on the opposite side. And, of course, that's not how they got their goal. They got a pretty much of a direct kick from the right side.
I mean, they've made some nice crosses. They just haven't had somebody on the other end to connect with, but they're getting closer.
And beating the defense, and a goal.
That's number.
That was early that took it, and it really forced Alex to be in no man's land. He wanted to come out. He started to sink back, and that puts you in a tough spot. And really a nice kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're trying to play the angle there. And obviously, when you kind of get out that far, you kind of, it's easy to lose track of where the goal is. And, early had a nice little strike on it and put it in the right spot on the net.
And again, you've got to either come out hard or kind of sink back. But he found himself in between those things, and it makes it tough. But again, it's all a learning experience. He is just a freshman in the goal. So you're, again, adjusting to what you're seeing with people that are a lot of these players 3 years older, and that's a big deal at this level.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, that's the tough part about when you have to rely on youth, especially, in a program like this.
There he has a good save with the left hand, and New Lex can't quite get it out. As they'll hit the middle, the kick coming, and it'll be wide in a goal kick, but a nice save in there by Alex on the first attack to knock it out of there with his left hand.
So, yeah, I mean, you see some good things out of New Lex, some things that they can definitely build on going forward. Just for them, it's just been a struggle to really get the ball past midfield and try to do anything offensively.
We've played almost 10 minutes of this first half. Warren will get it. No, I thought they might go to the goaltender. Now, if they do kick it back to him, remember, he can't pick that up. He's got to kick that out. So they were a little close. Maybe they thought that would be a bad play. Goes to New Lex on the throw-in. And throwing it in there is Mildenstein. Trying to get ahead, but stolen away in the midfield. That's really where Warren is very strong, in those midfield spots. They've got, but this time he comes all the way out. That's a great play by Alex.
Yeah, that's what you need to do there. You need to be aggressive as the keeper, and that's exactly what he was able to do.
Well, he's got a big leg as he tries to find Marius Baker down there. Or, I'm sorry, Marius Baker, and Baker just couldn't get to it before Wells came out of goal to grab it. But that's a big leg. There's another one right there. That's a senior kicking it out of there right there.
Yeah. A lot of long balls there when the keepers do get their opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two ways to do that. Obviously, keepers can go right back out to someone close to them, either throwing it to them or kicking it to them. But it is They all want to boom it, I can tell you.
Oh yeah.
It's like golfers want to get the driver out all the time, right?
And on turf, it just bounces so much easier. So it's easy to get like a 60, 70-yard kick, and it makes it look like nothing.
Yeah. And a little bit of wind doesn't hurt. So, in fact, looking at the flag here, it's actually not doing a whole lot, actually blowing toward the Warren goal just a little bit. So 2-0. We're just inside 30 minutes to go in this first half. Again, it's a running clock unless there's a score or an injury or a penalty call that they're going to make. So the clock keeps on running most of the time. Again, New Lex just having a hard time getting something close. That looked to be a little offsides, but no call. It's real easy up here, by the way. I don't mean to cast aspersions because it's a little different down there. It always is.
Yeah, I was a defender, so it always felt like everybody was always
Always.
offside.
Did you do a lot of pointing?
Yeah, there's always a lot of pointing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's a bad thing.
it really is about timing, and that's the thing is like it's easy to kind of get flat-footed, and the guy gets behind you and be like, man, I know that I was in front of him, but
yeah. Well, and it's not on when the ball gets there, right? It's on the kick.
yeah, it's when the guy passes it, and so if he's onside when the pass happens, he runs past you.
Yep, New Lex, and a good chance here as Thorngate had it and then taken away from him. And here's a longer kick, and this one goes past the left side. So those were two good chances there for New Lex. That'll get them going.
Yeah, so hopefully that's a good sign for their offense that they found some space there. They just have to get a consistent attack and try to at least get one back. So, but
Thorngate did a good job making some space for himself in front of the Warren goal, and he is just a freshman. In fact, only one senior on this team. So, again, valuable experience as they go through this season. Stoltz giving chase, but Warren able to maneuver away, and they'll try to get it down. But once again, and there's a good kick by Alex to send it the other way, and he's got a player, and he's onside. That was Spawn with a good chance, but really nicely done by Alex to find him, and then for Spawn to stay onside.
yeah, as a young guy, you're trying to figure out when do you want to dribble, when do you want to shoot. I mean, that's a good shot there. It was from distance, but you put some pressure on the keeper. But you don't want to dribble too much and then not get a shot at all. So it's just learning that experience. That will come with time.
And I think we get a call there on offsides.
Yeah, I think they had about 2 or 3 guys off.
Only where they're starting to taste it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they know the space is there. It's just getting that timing right, like I said.
And I think New Lex on the defensive calls are doing a good job of making them offsides. That's something you think about.
Oh, yeah.
And here is Baker again chasing it down. It's going to be kicked away from him. We're going to get a throw in on the far side. But both Baker and Stoltz are guys up front. And
just tapped it out bounds. Looks like
this one's
another throw in. I think it's a Warren.
Yeah, it's going to go to Warren this time.
Just kind of a tough touch there, and it went right back out. But getting that feel for the ball under varsity pressure, that takes a little bit of time too. That just comes, like you said, with experience. So
that was actually a direct kick.
Oh, okay,
Free kick. That's why the goaltender could come out and do it.
So it wasn't a throw-in. So must.
And the battle on the far side, taken away. Nice play by Andre Spicer, and he's still battling as he and Early go at it on that right side. They continue. And Warren able to gain it back, looking to pass in the box, and they'll score.
Looks like a let.
Yeah, that is, just jump in there.
That's Early again.
Yeah.
Early. So that's his second goal of the day. So that one there, he was able to just kind of dribble and get some space. I mean, the New Lex defense is tenacious. But like I said, when you only have a couple subs on the sideline there, and you're trying to get your conditioning early in the season, it can be kind of tough.
Yep. So a kickoff for New Lex. That'll be Aiden Spawn to get things started. And then a long kick ahead. Was he onside? He was. Keeper coming out, but then able to get it from behind. That's Spawn. Spawn kicks, long kick coming, but it'll go wide to the left. It was trying to send it that way again was Baker. Baker's one of the old men on this team as a junior.
Yeah, it looks like New Lexington will kind of get that long ball passing play in there. And that can be a tough way to consistently score, but when you got some younger guys up front, you're probably trying to make them just react and take a quick shot.
Well, and that's when you know a team, when you see that kind of offense, and here comes Warren again. That's Purdue, actually Jackson Purdue. They got a couple of Purdues on this team. And again, they're trying to set up the middle of the pitch to then maneuver for a clean shot.
Yeah, I mean, New Lexington's definitely packing in there, trying to make them go outside. You know, unfortunately, they just have struggled to consistently clear the ball, and that's really given Warren a lot of opportunities.
And right on the end line, but able to get it out of there. And nice maneuver, although go right back to Warren as Nate Phillips had it on his right foot trying to work out. And again, there's a stop. And this will be, I believe, they're going to say it hit the post first?
Post first, yeah. So it looks like it's going to
be a goal kick. Otherwise, it would have been a corner kick.
He wasn't.
Had Alex touched it.
Yeah, he wasn't pointing to the corner. So, but again, that's making him shoot from a tough angle, and that really worked out for New Lex's favor.
Kick to the middle. Gets behind the defense. Chasing it down for New Lex is Nate Phillips, but back to the keeper it goes. That's Hayden Wells. And it goes over the touchline, so a throw-in for New Lex. That's Mildenstein throwing it in. And going to come right back to him, but it goes out, and it'll be, I believe, Warren. It will on the throw-in.
Yeah, just learn how to get that soft touch. That takes some practice, takes some time, and you can kind of tell with New Lex sometimes they're thinking a little faster than they're able to turn that ball.
Once again, early with the ball on his foot. And to the middle it goes. That's Jackson Purdue with it. They'll go all the way to the right side. The little wheel route they were running on that other side.
That's
I don't see that a lot, but yeah.
That's what it looked like, but unfortunately the point guy was offside when he touched it. So.
Yeah, oops, yeah. But that looked like what they were trying to set up is to get a player open down the right sideline or touch line. Long ahead, I think that should be a New Lex throw-in. It is, as they advance into the Warren zone. Well, rethought it.
Yeah, he's trying to find somebody.
He wants to get it right back and not able to keep it in possession. So Warren will throw it in.
Yeah, you don't like to be throwing so tight to the sidelines or the edge lines when you're doing a throw in. So
yep.
Definitely want to have some space.
Battle for the ball as though Barrow with it now for Warren. Eyes the field, looks in the midfield, and they'll turn on the ball there. Nicely done. But stepping in, trying to take it away. Early will get it over to the right side. Again, they're kind of crowding themselves a bit as the New Lex defense doing a good job of containing. And you can see everybody is up. They don't want to give an easy goal attempt. And, again, I think they were offsides, and that's the call.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely pushed their defense up to make Warren, have to really kind of earn their opportunities there. And that's probably a good strategy at this point. You're up 3-0. You don't really want to give up any more. And so, you got to make them make the perfect pass. And that's definitely been a struggle for Warren here the last few minutes.
And, again, if you're new to the game, if you watch it, you'll say, well, why are they all up there? They should be back playing defense. Well, the offense can't go past those guys until the ball is kicked, or they'll be offsides. And so that's why that's a good strategy right now, as Brandon pointed out, because you can't get those breakaways that easily. Trying to keep the ball on the left-footed shot and had a chance. That's Riley Stoltz. Good idea, though. Good footwork to get himself a chance at the goal.
Yep, he went to the right side. He just, unfortunately hit it right at the keeper, but definitely the right idea.
And Wells is a pretty big guy in that goal, so he's going to cover some ground in there and not give up the easy ones over his head. Again, Warren trying to set up, and we're just past halfway of this half. What we would think of in the old days as a quarter.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and New Lex has almost everybody at the 50, and so
yeah, that's definitely the idea.
now
Now, Warren going to try to beat him, but again, good job by the New Lex defenders to get back quickly.
Yeah, they're almost running like what you see in the Canadian Football League, where the guy behind the line of scrimmage is running before you hike it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And that's what they're kind of doing now to adapt to New Lex playing their defense up. So we got to give them credit to try to be creative as they try to find that space. But it looks like they'll get a corner here. So
Yeah, I think this is our first corner kick of the day. Took almost 21 minutes before we saw it. Setting up for a left-footed shot. And they'll run a line, and then and they'll attack it from there. The head is not in. Another good save by Alex, and boy, did he do a nice job. He had a couple of ones right at him in tight, and he was able to keep it out of the goal. Nicely done. That looked like a handball, and we'll get a late call for it.
yeah, when someone's heading the ball, you're not really ever sure what direction it's going. But Elks was in the right position and made a good stop and was able to get it out of there.
And then he had off the rebound. He had another one he had to face on the far post and did a great job keeping that out. You want to hug that post, and he did just that. So a direct kick, and they go over the top again. But once again, there's Hayden Wells to grab it. He'll left-hand it out of there. Finding Anthony on the long throw. And Anthony will bring it up to the midfield.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make Warren work for their space, and I think Warren's starting to understand when they're offsides, because you can see some of those guys stop their run before they get started.
Well, and you're seeing some of the forward guys, they have hands on hips now because they have been working hard to get an advantage. We're going to see a couple of guys in there now. One of them is Liam Grossland, a freshman. And I think we're also seeing Fairbanks back in there.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's not super warm yet, but it's definitely humid, and that will wear you down just as much as the heat.
Well, they're essentially running 40-yard dashes to go, because that's about where that's the closest that the defense has sagged to the net.
Yeah, you have a lot of conditioning for soccer, but it's still different when you're out there just doing little bursts here and there, and especially on that defensive side when they're working as hard as they are. That will wear you down. So, they still got 17 minutes here, so we'll see if that leads any breakdowns on the defensive end.
Free kick for Cole Furby. And he thought he had a handball, but don't quit.
Until they blow the whistle, you keep going.
And in fact, they did not call it, and we're going to get offsides here again.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will be sitting there with handball why don't they call it all the time? And I think if they feel it's an incidental one and it's not one that you're using to try to knock the ball down, they usually let that stuff go. So I know they all look purposeful, but
yeah, just keep playing like you didn't do anything.
I think the officials try to feel if you get an advantage, they call it. If there's no advantage, they usually let it go.
Well, and it was a heck of a kick. Just to stop the ball. I think he was getting credit for that. By the way, that was Trey Schooley who had that opportunity. So Warren again trying to set up an attack over the top. They're going to lead. This time they're going to be on sides, but they're kicking it out of there. Alex comes all the way out to thwart the effort. Nicely done. He's getting a little more aggressive. I think he's starting to feel it a little bit. Yeah. After the first, he was kind of caught in between, as we mentioned, but now he's being very aggressive coming out of the net.
Yeah, feeling very comfortable back there. But
there's the attack, and just too close. Nothing Alex could do. As we had Fairbanks on the kick, and he just found himself wide open, and Alex just nowhere to go to try to save that one. He had to guess about 3 spots.
Yeah, when you have 3 guys that deep in a box, that's going to be tough to stop a goal right there unless they kick it right at you. And that's unfortunately one of those breakdowns that you probably start to see as fatigue kind of wears in with New Lex. So.
Yep. So that makes it 4-0 here. New Lex will begin play after that. 15:40 to go in this first half. Beautiful morning here in New Lexington. Trying to get over the top again, and it'll be headed out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. Again, up on the ball is Spawn and also Riley Stoltz. And trying to head it into position, both teams there off the throw-in. Instead, Warren will have it and beats the defense on the right side, but also gets past Jackson Purdue and out of bounds. And if you're wondering where the out of bounds is, because we're all attuned to watching football on this field, it's the black strip around the sidelines, or on the sidelines, and then the goal line is the goal line. So that one's easy. But the out of bounds in terms of on the sides include that black strip that is running right beside the usual football field.
Yeah, I believe a soccer field is about 6 yards wider than a football field, so it goes just past kind of where the coach's box is.
And unlike football, the ball has to go all the way over the line to be out. So you'll wonder if it's on the line, why that isn't called. It's because it's got to go all the way over, much like a goal has to go all the way over the line as well. So Warren on the attack from the right side. Got a couple people in the middle. The head is in.
Yeah,
Well, that was nicely done.
13. So it looked like Jackson Purdue made the kick too early. Early headed it in there.
Early's the guy in the middle for sure.
Oh yeah,
that they want to look to.
That was a nice little chip into the middle there, and but I believe that gives Early an early hat trick to the season. That gets him to start.
This is where you want to get started if you're doing it. They're going to bring a couple of new guys in for Warren. It'll be Devian Wilson and Ben Kelly. Wilson is a senior, Kelly a junior into the lineup.
Yeah, and that's where Warren benefits. It looks like they have about 5 or 6 kids on their bench to New Lex's 2 kids, and so they're going to be able to kind of keep some fresher legs, get some younger guys in as the game progresses.
And nice play to maneuver there. That was Fairbanks again. We've called his name quite a bit here in the first half for Warren. And trying to get it out, but there's a good kick out. As that was Furby able to play some good defense, but Warren collects it in the midfield and brings it right back into the attack. And good save there by Alex as he anticipated the shot. Just over 13 minutes to go in this first half. Chance to move it forward. Don't stop.
Okay.
It hit his hand and he stopped again.
Yep. I think he lost his glasses.
Oh, maybe that was it.
It looked like you picked something off the ground.
Yeah,
there,
you're right.
so.
Kind of scraped off his.
Yeah, I played soccer with glasses. I tell you what, that's a tough thing to do.
I'd have one of those tethers on there or something, you know?
That's why I went to contact. So
yeah, there you go. That was the reason, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, and they do make the goggles and all the stuff that you can get, but, that is not inexpensive. So it's like there are a lot of parents who go, yeah, just don't play goaltender or goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Those gloves are, no, not a cheap item. I had a son who was interested in playing hockey and playing goalie, and I saw the prices, and I went, I think you're a better basketball player.
Yeah, hockey's not a cheap sport to get started. I have a buddy whose kid is getting into it too, and it's like even to go to secondhand stores, it's like wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. It was one thing. I covered some baseball in Canada some time ago, and when you came back in, you weren't allowed to bring in the usual plants and fruit and hockey equipment, where you weren't allowed to bring back into the U.S. because it's much cheaper north of the border. So yeah, but yeah, gloves. You hope the school provides those. So.
Yeah, soccer's a relatively cheap sport. You just have to get spikes and shin pads and
everything else.
Maybe if you're a keeper, you might have to get a shirt, but that's about it.
Yeah. We've got a stoppage. It'll be a free kick for New Lex. Good foot in it. Let's see who can chase it down, but maybe a little too far as Wells will come out and grab it. quickly back on the attack. And tough defense in the middle, really nicely done. That was Andre Spicer doing a good job in the midfield. Ahead it goes. This one's going to be a little too long and stays in the box, so Alex will be able to grab it. And he'll be able to kick it. And I don't know if the Panthers need a punter, but this freshman can let it go. On the attack is Riley Stoltz, but it'll get by him and over the sideline. But Alex, yeah, he can get some. I mean, the wind is helping him a little, but he is booming it out of there.
Yep. So it's just the forwards have to kind of get used to where that ball is going to land, and then it's kind of bounced. So once they kind of get a feel for that, that should help them as the season kind of progresses.
But again, just a freshman. On the attack is Gardner, and he'll try to do it himself, and it'll go wide to the right of the goal.
But yeah, I mean that's where you have to play the angle there, and Elks made it a tough angle where he was trying to had to kind of curve it around him, and he wasn't able to. So
yep,
you can see some promising stats out there as a freshman. With Elks, it's just kind of getting that feel for it and just getting more confidence. So
it'll be Furby to kick it out of there on the goal kick. Sends it right up the middle. Weren't able to step up on it. And trying to work around that right side. That's Fairbanks. He'll go to the middle, and there's Alex to grab it. Nicely done. We see some nice bursts from him in this game. And long ahead it goes. It'll be headed back to Wells. An artful over the top right there from Spawn. And when he has the chance, he's an athletic kid. He's going to have a chance to get one in there here soon. And it comes ahead, but offsides. Kind of saw it all the way.
Yep, I was going to say, they trying to really press to get one more goal there for the half as we are under the 10-minute mark. So
Elliot Nutter did a good job to allow him to, the offense to go by him and draw the offsides. Long kick ahead from Furby. Midfield. Standing tall in the middle is Sam Roop again. Boy, he's a physical guy.
Yep, and early gets a goal there.
But I came ahead. I thought I thought there might be a call then, and it is another goal.
I think he was even with him when he got the ball, and he was able just to use his speed to get past him. So that's his fourth goal of the day, and looks like he'll actually get a break here.
Yeah, we'd like him to have a break.
Yeah, he's definitely been one guy that's really put a thorn in New Lex's side all afternoon.
We're talking about Tave early.
You can definitely tell as a senior he has that experience.
I mean, he's a good one for sure.
Very comfortable with the ball at his foot.
Just under 9 minutes to go here in this first half. And trying to steal it away, but it'll go out of bounds. They're going to say it was off New Lex on the play, so it'll be Warren throwing it in. And good job by Roop in the middle there to knock it away, keep his arm tucked in, so no call. Spawn was going to look for, you can tell, halftime's going to be a nice rest for all these guys out here today. They've been in the direct sun all morning. And a lot of running up and down by both squads.
Yeah, I was going to say, and a lot of them have come back and helped with the defensive end, so it's not like there's too many guys really staying up top. So it's been a team effort, but, man, it does wear you down.
Saw a little bit earlier, Riley Stoltz really battling for the ball. Only a freshman. He did a good job. As you can also see, Brandon, that you realize during a game how physical it is and what you can do. And we're starting to see that from the New Lex players where they're getting in there a little bit and battling in those one-on-one battles.
Yeah, I always told people, I said, soccer is a much more physical sport than it looks like. I know it's, not football per se where you're getting decked across the middle, but you really have to, kind of figure out what you can and can't do, like how far you can kind of get your elbow up to give yourself some space and, being aggressive and, try not to kick the guy down before you get to the ball. So, it just takes a feel of it, and especially when you're an underclassman against a senior, experienced group like Warren here. New Lux, it probably just takes some time to really know what they can and can't do and what they feel comfortable doing. You don't want to obviously go too far too early, then the refs are really watching you.
Well, in the youth programs and in middle school and that kind of things, it's just not that physical because they want you to learn your ball handling skills and that kind of thing. But you get here, I mean, it's tough physically because it's that hand-to-hand kind of combat where you're just in tight and having to use your whole body to get position.
And officials will let you kind of use that, use your hands on the back and that sort of stuff, kind of like what you'd see in basketball. As long as you're not grabbing the actual jersey, as long as your hands aren't like up by the head, they'll kind of let you do a little pushing and shoving, that sort of stuff. And you can just kind of even watch and see that, Warren has some bigger, more mature kids than what New Lux has out there with some of their freshmen and sophomore just aren't quite there physically, but they'll get there.
Sean Adams comes into the game for Warren. And Ashton Barrow, has won a couple of letters as a junior already. He's been battling in the middle. He's one of those guys that's probably just a little bit tougher out there. He's got good body control, and we're going to get a free kick, and actually the keeper will take it, and he'll pass it off to Adams, who just came into the game. Ticking down to the 7-minute mark of this first half. Again, trying to win on that right side. And saving with his hands and then headed out of there. Nicely done. A little jump kick to send it back out. So good defensive effort right there by the Panthers. He's getting a lot of chances today and really quick hands. I mean, that's what we've seen so far. When he's had the chance, he's been able to knock it out of there with those neon yellow gloves.
Yep, he's had some really good reaction here, and he's going to get tested here as Warren gets another corner kick on the afternoon.
That's Barrow again. He's had both of the corner kicks so far. They scored on last one coming out. Let's see. Kind of hooks it with that left foot. New Lex trying to get it out there, and it'll go wide of the net left side. The first battle coming from Nate Phillips as he slowed everything down and forced the kick wide.
Yep, and Elks again was tight to that post like you said earlier, and forced the shot to get wide. He didn't have any space to the inside.
And turnover there and the kick out, the goal kick. And that will be Warren throwing it in as we're inside 6 minutes of this first half. Long throw. Tried to kick it behind himself. Pretty nifty move, but right there was New Lex on the defense. But it was fun to watch. I think these guys, that's what you do in your backyards now. It's like, all the sports, you try to figure out the tricks that you can do now. That was a good one. So that one's going to be headed out, and it'll be Warren to throw it in. And they try to get it to the edges so that you can then set up. And nope, he tried. He was waiting there, but it was right in front of the linesman.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he was close, and he tried to stop.
He tried to hold it. You see his body leaning forward and trying to keep his feet. Just couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have offsides in soccer, it would be a very high-scoring affair. I mean, but.
Well, that's what some people talk about. Make the net smaller, take out the goalkeeper, and don't have offsides. I said, well, yeah, if you want to stop about every 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say there would be a ton of scoring, but it would be a longer game.
Yeah, you'd be here. You might as well bring a lunch. So trying to attack that right side that time, but Warren quickly out of the defense, but then they'll go out with it. And it'll be Nate Phillips to throw it in. Good head forward right there's a battle, but Wells just gets there in time.
Yeah, just took a big hop on him. If that would have been a smaller hop, I think it would have been time to knock it down and get around him.
Spawn was right there, a little frustrated as he went to the ground. And quick down the right side to the middle, and it'll be tapped in from the middle of the field.
Looks like number 8.
I think that is number 8.
Dawson Staley.
Dawson Staley, who's also a senior, but what do we got to call?
Nope, I think.
Nope. I did. Linesman stepped in. He was just indicating the goal.
So, yeah, that was another one there where I think.
Well, let's see. The ball is.
Nope.
What do we got?
No, the other linesman's calling offside. So
Yep, that's what it was. He did step in. I thought he had the hand up for that, but he waited a while to make that call. I think it happened a little earlier because you see where the ball's spotted. That's where they say it happens. But I think you could have moved that about 20 yards out. 3:51 on the clock here in the first half.
Nope. I think she's changing it to 139. So
1:39 on the clock. I gotta be careful, don't I?
I guess the linesman down there is keeping track of it. So,
There he is.
so about a minute.
Well, kudos to him because he helped New Lex out. It'll stay at 6-0.
Yeah.
Warren. Oh, nifty move there to gain the left side. That's Gardner. He goes back across the middle, but a little behind the advance there, and there's a steal right side, kick to the middle, and it'll go wide. What do we got?
Oh, we got a penalty.
Was it a handball, maybe?
I'm not sure.
I thought that might have been the indication from down
crossed
low.
his arm, so it must have been. I don't know if it was a push in the back or what.
Oh, okay. Well,
usually
it'll
when
be
you cross your arms, it's a little more serious than just an
yeah.
offside. So.
I did not see that, so thanks. And Warren able to intercept the goal kick.
Looks like Warren
Actually, it was a free kick, I think.
Yeah. So, because Warren looks like they have some younger guys that are in there, so they're probably real antsy to get their own.
Yeah,
goal.
they want to get on the
So,
board.
So they're trying to do a little too much.
Mom and Dad drove up here. They want to get on the board. New Lex with an opportunity here. They go to the middle. They've got a player there, and he will. Oh, good save by Wells. Spawn had a chance, just couldn't quite get it by him.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to tap it past them and maybe mishit it, and that's unfortunate when you get that close and the net's right there.
10 seconds coming up. And then soccer, the PA announcer announces those last 10 seconds, counts them down. And that will do it for our first half. Well, you won't really know this game by just looking at the score. New Lex kind of finding their way, and a lot of bright spots in this first half. Warren, a more experienced team, Brandon, but really a lot of nice things to see out of the New Lex Panthers today.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hustle. You can see that aggressiveness starting to come once they kind of felt comfortable. Like you said, when you kind of have the underclassmen out there, it just takes a while to kind of get that feel for the varsity level. But there's definitely some positives to build on. I mean, the score doesn't indicate the effort you see out there. And, Elks has done a really good job in goal. Unfortunately, just a few times, they found some holes in the defense and be able to get it past them.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a little bit with second half action. Again, after one, it's the Warren Warriors 6, the New Lex Panthers nothing. We'll be back. Welcome back to New Lexington, Ohio. Kevin Rao along with Brandon Hannes as we will move on to the second half of our game here between the New Lex Panthers and the Warren Warriors. Warren with the better of it at 6-0, but again, this is such a young team for New Lexington. You can measure it in goals if you want, but we have seen a lot of very bright spots for this Panther team in the first half.
Yeah, you can definitely see that, like I said, they're just getting more comfortable with each other, getting that feel for it. They're just playing an experienced team that found their holes and has been able to kind of exploit them. But, you just want to see more fight here in the second half and just see those guys, see if they can try to find a way, at least get one goal and just get some confidence on the offensive end.
So Warren quickly on the attack here in the second half. Again, 40 minutes on the clock to start this half. We don't stop for out of bounds or any of those things. We do stop for goals or injuries or penalties. We'll keep you abreast of all that, and we're going to get, let's see what the call is here. Two guys ran into each other and a little bit worse off because of it. One of them is Furby running there to kick it away.
Yeah, must have got a little too much of of Furby there. And
yeah, Fairbanks is the one suffering a little bit on the Warren side. Again, the wind blowing toward the New Lex goal now in this half, and it has picked up a little bit here in these morning hours. Trying to cross and easily done. You know who was left over there. That was early. And we are just also, again, the clock runs most of the time. It will continue to run now through even goals and so on until it gets down below 5. The deficit gets down below 5.
So early with, what is that, his 4th goal of the afternoon. He did a nice little flip there to celebrate that. So
well, he just lives in that middle area right outside the box and just knows what to do with it once he gets it.
So, yeah, we'll kind of see how this kind of plays out for New Lex in the second half. I think, for them it's just time to be a little more aggressive and just take some chances, see if they can
just put
you're something
right.
together.
Yeah. See where the edge of that is for a call. I mean, that's
exactly.
what it's like in baseball. You want to find out where the edges are of the plate, as you go
definitely.
along. Here it's what can I do physically that's still within this referee's, continuing play.
Yep.
And so we'll see if they do that. Warren is going to go back to their keeper in Hayden Wells, who's done a nice job today. Had a couple of good chances for the Panthers that he was able to make a play on.
Yep, I mean, definitely Aiden Spawn's been a bright spot on that offensive end. Had a couple almost chances. Just, learning how to get it around that keeper sometimes can be tough when the pressure's on.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I've got a real chance. What do I,
Yeah, I mean, he's only a sophomore.
And they'll learn
so
that. Another chance for a goal, and it'll go wide right.
But right there, that was a good play by Elkis. Like I said, he came out, was aggressive, and really changed the angle. And that's a tough shot for a high school kid. When you get into college and into the pros, that's something that just curl in real easy. But at the high school level, usually if you can kind of attack a guy, it's hard for them to kind of think enough on their feet to curl that one in. So.
Well, and it just takes you have to kick it a little off speed, and it kind of takes out what you're used to doing.
So.
There aren't many guys that practice that one. You're always booming it, in practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Elk's going to see a lot of good offensive in the Muskingum Valley League with John Glenn, Maysville, Riverview. Those are all teams with a lot of experience up top. And so, a game like this will definitely give him a feel for what he's going to see throughout the season.
Well, and Warren, much like New Lex, a good athletic school. Warren, of course, I saw them this past winter in the regional in basketball, the boys.
Yeah, they're one of the more steady schools in southeastern Ohio, and they seem to be good at all athletics. It's not just one or two sports, and they always seem to have kids that are physical and ready to battle no matter who they're playing. So.
And New Lex will get the throw in here right in front of us in the press box here at beautiful Rockwell Stadium. I've never had a bad time here. Not once. I was thinking back. I got an offer going on bad, so yeah, it's all good.
Yep, seen a lot of great things happen in this.
Oh
stadium,
my gosh!
So.
And you can tell the summer's taking its toll on the grass here, but that's one of the great places to sit is on that grass hill.
Yeah, it's taking a toll on the whole area.
Yeah, no, it has. My yard included.
I think
Yeah.
I've mowed about 5 times since like July 4th, and it's only like spots.
Good kick in the middle. And Early is just having a day today. It's not able to. He was just stuck in the middle trying to predict. That was like a penalty shot where you have to try to guess right, and it went the other way.
Yeah, it was a tough one to get there because Early is definitely a guy that knows what side he's going to go before he kicks it, and folks didn't really have much of a chance there. So, but when you kind of look at the soccer season too here, now there's 5 divisions. It'll be really interesting to see how that plays out for a lot of these programs where they're used to, you had to beat 2 or 3 teams to get to the regional, and now it's kind of more spread out. So, and for New Lex, it will probably put them in a spot where they're playing programs more of their caliber and their size of school. Because in the past they were playing the Warrens and the Mariettas, and those programs are all very well established.
When you're riding with the Times Recorder, how have coaches reacted generally to having more people that will be able to, more divisions?
I think they're happy about it in the fact that it's like, for a lot of our teams, you felt like if you got to the regional, you were stuck losing to a Columbus team. Rosecrans did make the Final Four a couple times in Division III, and that's a little different than Division II. But I think for our area teams, they now feel like there is a legit chance to get to a state Final Four, and that it won't be as hard, as it was in the past. When you only had 3 divisions, you had a lot of schools covered up in that Division II that were a little tougher. And I think what that does is it takes out a lot of those parochial schools in Columbus, some of those bigger schools that could drop down to D2 and kind of open it up. You don't have to worry about DeSales sitting in front of you anymore. And I think that makes a lot of programs feel a little more comfortable with what the possibilities are of the postseason.
Right. Well, that's why being now in the Columbus area, you can see there's a kick on. Oh, he just couldn't quite get the right hand on it. As he predicted it well, but it beats him to his right into the left side of the goal, making it 9-0.
Yep.
But it's funny, in Columbus, the talk is exactly the other way around, of course.
Yeah. The bigger schools should kind of be in that same division. Now, I do think, with the MVL, it puts a lot of the schools in the same division now. And so you're going to see somebody 2-3 times. And so that can always be a difficult challenge, trying to beat somebody a couple times. But
it kind of gives the underdog. It's so hard to beat somebody 3 times,
Oh, definitely. But I think, for a program like New Lex, it's still trying to build and find its legs. And when you know that you're not necessarily like, maybe you can win your first game against somebody equal caliber. I think being in this little smaller school will kind of open some things up and, lead some opportunities. It's just trying to get that depth and stuff around here.
Yep.
And that just takes time.
On the attack here is Kyle Anthony, able to beat his man on the right side, goes to the middle, and the kick is over top. And the New Lex defense has done a good job in those situations, but that time they kind of got grouped separately and left a big gap, but fortunately the ball goes over the net for the Panthers.
I think you're just starting to see that fatigue kind of set in where the guys aren't as fast and aren't reacting as quickly as they were in that first half, and that's definitely going to happen, especially the first couple of weeks when it's in the in the 80s and it's humid and you're just still adapting to that. Last week was about the coolest week of August I can remember.
Right.
Now you're back to the heat of it, so it just takes some time. But
good job there by Alex to go out and grab it. They'll try to go up the right side, but it'll go across the sideline and thrown in by Warren. Yeah, it'll be interesting this week. I don't know what the weather for first week of football and continuing on in soccer and the other sports. But come on, you guys have a whole weather page.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be mid-80s, pretty comfortable actually. It's kind of supposed to be like what last week was. Now, obviously, it's Ohio, and that can change in a heartbeat. I think this weekend is supposed to be warm. The rain's supposed to come through and kind of make it comfortable for that first week. So, usually speaking, if it's cool and comfortable week 1, week 2 or week 3 is going to be blazing hot.
Yeah, you know that.
That's pretty much a guarantee. So,
and there's one off the left post. We'll go across the end line, and it'll be kicked back in. Now, again, just earlier there, you saw Mildenstein. He's number 20, did a really nice job on his one-on-one battle. And that's what you got to take out of this. If you're showing film to the kids after this, is those moments when they won and why they won, and they'll put that into their game.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Josh Castro is starting his 4th year here, so he has a feel for these guys, and it's just kind of getting everyone up to speed. Obviously, like I said, we only have 13 or 14 guys. That's tough in soccer because really you got one guy in goal, so you really have 10 guys and a few subs, and your forwards, your midfielders, you kind of expect them to play almost 80 minutes, and that's a lot to expect from a high school kid week in, week out,
especially when you have freshmen next year.
Oh yeah, I mean these freshmen probably aren't conditioned for that yet, and when you're playing 2-3 times a week, that conditioning comes with it. But it's just so hard to kind of simulate that in practice, and just running laps around a track, that sort of stuff, to get a feel for it.
Yeah, that starting and stopping is a big deal. They're offsides against Warren.
So that's what you see in soccer a lot of times. The guys up front will kind of take that break to make that run, that sort of stuff. But I think when your defense is getting attacked like New Lexus is today, that's definitely a reason why those guys are probably a little tired, and so they get a little flat-footed, and some opportunities happen. But it's like you said, it's a learning experience for these guys to get a feel for it, and now they kind of know what to expect when they go into their next game.
Mildenstein will kick it away. Stays right up that right sideline, stolen away by Warren as they set up the play. Trying to bring it to the middle. Good defense. One of the guys in there is Marius Baker. Oh, nice move there, and going for the far post and putting it in. Is that early once again?
It sure looks like it.
We're going to make him walk home.
I was going to say, I think that gives him...
He's got too much energy. He needs to work that off. Into the match, a couple of new guys for New Lex as Andre Spicer back in there, Elliot Nutter in as well.
I think that gives him, at least 6 on the afternoon, and maybe even 7. But you can definitely see that he has the skill to be really good, and a kid like that's definitely going to get his against a younger New Lex team. But I assume that as this game kind of goes on for Warren, they'll put some of their younger guys in, that sort of stuff, and kind of go from there. So
we've got a discussion in the back. Let's see what.
Now Warren's changing their keeper, so I'm not sure if some guys are going to change positions or if he's just checking on his teammates to make sure he's all right. It looks like they're going to get a sub for him. So, early on in the season here, you don't want your kids to, if your kid's starting to show fatigue or needs some water, you definitely make sure you get that out there. I mean, there's, a half hour may not seem like a lot, but when you're out there on that turf.
So Furby comes out. He was talking to the official back there. Not sure what that was about. And good support from his teammate Aiden Spawn there to go back and try to ease things just a little bit. Now you like to see that out of your young players. So it'll be kicking it away is Sam Roop into the middle. And Warren will start as we're inside 30 minutes to go in this second half. And some good defense, able to get it out of there. Schooley with a kick out as they'll work it. Warren will work it over to the right side. That's Wilson with it, and then Alex will come out and grab it.
So, and usually in games like this, from like a coaching standpoint, you want to see your guys kind of use their footwork a little bit and do a lot more passing. So it'd be nice to see how Warren kind of approaches this last 30 minutes while New Lex tries to get their opportunity here.
Oh, good physical play down there. As running right through it was Baker.
Yeah.
Good job by him.
And he was able to draw a corner kick, so you're able to get the guys up here.
And I think that's Spawn that'll do the kicking. Looks like he's going to hit it with his left foot.
Yep. Oh,
approaches.
Players in.
Comes out a little higher. Ball free in the middle. Still bouncing around, and Warren will kick it over the sideline. So throw in for New Lex.
Yeah, it didn't quite have the curve on it I think he wanted to, and it just kind of landed there in no man's land.
Yep.
But I think that's the opportunities that you got to draw from a game like this is like learning to be aggressive and trying to get those corner kicks. That's really a key in soccer. Those are a lot of times where you can kind of get that momentum and get a goal, kind of feel good about yourself.
So Warren maneuvering in midfield to set something up. Again, New Lexington bringing guys up, their defenders up, so trying to trigger offside should they go over the top without paying attention.
And you got to give Baker credit back there. He's putting some pressure on the new keeper to try to maybe make him make a mistake, see if they can get an easy goal out of this. At this point, you're just trying to see some of the positives, and that definitely would be a good thing for this group.
Jonah Hollis is the new keeper for Warren. Of course, this all their effort today. The first-year head coach Ben Atkinson for Warren. He's done a good job of working a nice passing game on the offensive side. And I think that offside's called there right in front of the linesman there. Nobody's walking away from the ball all that quickly. Have you noticed? I think it's taking its toll on everybody out there.
Yep. So I think it looks like Warren's going to get some of their subs in for some of the main guys here, and I think for the new Lex kids, it's trying to just make that right pass, see what they can do here. So
yep, just keep working. Roop the kick ahead.
I mean, they definitely have some pieces here. So you can kind of see a nice foundation, and like I said, the bonus is with only one senior, a lot of these guys will be back next year. It's just trying to find a way to get some depth in the.
Well, and they've got a couple of big guys back deep in Furby and Roop that I think can kind of head up your defensive effort back there.
Yep. It's just learning like some spacing. It's just like you said
and right side of the goal. That nice job to wait and force Alex to make a move.
Yep.
And then go where he wasn't. So nice job there by
it looks like Jackson Purdue there with he's a freshman.
One of the Purdue boys.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
his looks like we think a brother, maybe a cousin, a senior.
So, but yeah, I mean that's kind of thing there, and like you said, you've seen the hands on the hips for the us kids for a lot of the late part of the first half, most of the second, and they'll fight through that. They'll get that conditioning down. So, trying to find the positives. That will be the key for Coach Castro.
Absolutely.
This game.
And coaches are good at that. Furby back into the lineup, by the way. He replaces Elliot Nutter for New Lex. And we get close to a couple of minutes away from the halfway point of this second half. Working with the ball, going at it. That was Zane Hubble on the ball there. Out in front, ahead forward, and Alex will come grab it. Good job to anticipate another shot.
So, but yeah, that's one of those plays there where you can definitely see like Warren has that physical advantage. That's definitely helped him out throughout this afternoon, or this morning, really.
Yeah, it is this morning. Don't mind it. Still time for a nap before I go to bed. Warren trying to work that middle again. There was Roop to spoil things for the Panther defense. And I will say that Warren is a very patient team. Of course, it's easy when you have a guy like Early in the middle. He's out of there now, but when he's in there, you can wait around for a while, then try to find him.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sam Roop is one of the juniors on this team, and Furby and Baker out front. So those will be the guys that will really have to kind of lead the way for these underclassmen as they get their feet underneath them. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this program grows throughout the season.
Throw in there, and
I think he lifted his foot or something.
Yeah,
like
he did something.
It didn't look right.
Yeah. I think he changed where he wanted to throw it at the last second. He did raise that foot up off the ground.
That is one of the things with throwing. Both your feet have to stay in contact with the ground the whole way through. Now, I feel the angle of the throws have changed over the years. It used to be you had to be straight over the top, and
that is not called all that much.
But if your feet get up, they will call that every time.
And we're going to get another corner kick as knocking it out of there. Was it? I'm trying to see who made that nice play down there. Actually, yeah, it was Zane Hubble. I have a grandson named Zane, so that's a special. I guess who he's named after? The city I grew up in.
That's nice.
Yep.
So,
Perhaps Zane Hubble is the same. I don't know. That's a great name. All right. And you see, they kind of stack that. That's kind of – I've not seen a lot of teams do that where they run that kind of I formation there.
Yeah, but that's a definitely interesting approach. And, I mean, that was –
because then they spin guys out of there. You don't know who's going where.
Yeah. That's the right idea. Because they also put a guy – I mean, every team kind of puts a guy in front of the goalie to kind of block him. And so they can't get a clear
and
vision.
They just had that one guy. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's something that a lot of soccer teams are going to. That's something that Coach Atkinson hasn't installed, but that's a pretty good idea because I think that's where you can get a lot of goals on those set pieces.
Yep.
Is getting the defense confused. So.
Well, almost losing it. Good job to kick it out of there. Roop was hoping to bang it out of there, went off the side of his foot, but Alex able to gather it and get it out.
Yeah, the bouncing ball, that can be the worst time when you're on the defense. I mean, if you miss that and it goes the wrong person, that's almost an easy goal every time.
Oh, yeah. Well, if there's any English on it at all that you don't anticipate, you can look silly.
I feel, especially with turf, it has the English is a lot more accentuated than it does on grass, and so it just takes a lot of time.
So Warren again at it. Coming into the play, trying to steal it from behind was Baker. So to go back out to midfield.
Looks like they're definitely trying to spread the ball around and really get their passing on. I'm sure Coach Atkinson's probably asked his younger guys that have come in, like, hey, let's work on passing and spacing. Don't take a lot of shots on goal. I mean, it's already 11-0, so
that'll be a goal kick going the other way.
You just want to try to work on some of the other aspects of the game at this point, and especially for these younger kids. I don't know how many teams still have JV squads. It feels like in our area it's very hit or miss on who has the JV squad. So a lot of these guys, they only get play when it's a blowout like this, and so
they want to score.
Yeah, they want to score, but you also got to make sure that they're putting the work in so they know what
that's it.
Those guys can happen. So if there are any injuries down the line or some things like that,
or you might earn a spot. I mean, you can show your coach. That'd be my argument as a coach is. Keep working hard. That'll get you more playing time that way than trying to get goals here.
Yeah, because I always feel in soccer, the one bonus would be depth. I mean, I think you'd want to, you don't necessarily want to run everybody in and off, but I think if you can get, your main guys 5-minute breaks here and there throughout a half, that's definitely key, especially as the season wears on and the games have a little bit more meaning.
One thing you see on this new Lex team, they are coached well. They when they line up and do their work, they're in the right spots. Boy, that's a good kick right in the middle.
Yeah. That was just one of those kind of, bad bounce for New Lex, and it found a Warren kid, and he was by himself, knocked it in. So,
Well, again, it's just now the defense has started not kind of staying in their lane, if I've said that correctly. But, they kind of the space has been created.
Yeah, and that usually comes down, like I said, fatigue plays a big part of that. There's also probably just trying to keep your head up and that sort of stuff. I mean, obviously, no one wants to be a part of, a tough loss like this. But, they'll get it figured out.
They sure will. We want to thank, by the way, the South 60 Films team today, everybody here besides Brandon and me. We've got Matt Maholko, Jeremiah McKenzie, Marcus McPeck doing all the work to really get this done. They just let us talk. And then we get to go home. That's the thing. These guys are still working into the afternoon. But we appreciate all they do and South 60 for bringing this action to you today. Because when you get down to it, again, I had 4 that all played in high school, various sports, and these kids work really hard, and it's good to be able to feature them and what they do, whether it's winning or losing. It's fun to watch the effort, and there's a lot of effort during the week before this. So hats off to them, and hats off to South 60 for bringing it to you.
Yeah, as I said, a lot of these opportunities weren't around when I played high school soccer 25 years ago. I mean, what you saw is kind of what you're playing in. I mean, your coach filmed it, but there wasn't really the coverage and that sort of stuff there is now. And schools do a really good job promoting their athletics with Twitter and Facebook. And for these kids, they'll always kind of have these opportunities and memories look back on it.
Absolutely. And again, some guys really still working hard at it. One of those guys right there, number 18 in your screen, that's Aiden Spawn, really going at it still. He is chasing the ball everywhere. About 15:30 to go here in this one. Warren's going to get the win today, but New Lex will be able to take this to practice this week, get ready for the next one.
Yeah, early in the season, it feels like a lot of the teams get in 2-3 games the first few weeks, going into Labor Day. So, they won't have a lot of time to think about this. They'll probably get they practice in, and then they'll be back at it.
Right back at it, yeah.
Tuesday.
That's not a bad thing either, right?
No,
kind of
no.
cleanse where you're going.
Nope. I mean, as a coach, you should probably sit here and be like, hey, this is what we did well today. This is what we got to just kind of keep working on. And, we can't quit out there. We just have to fight till the end. And, that'll be a lesson that these guys will take into the next one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys still working hard there. There's Roop getting it out. Spawn trying to steal it. He's got some room. Let's see if he can get one on goal, and just a little too far ahead of himself on the dribble, taken away.
Yeah, tried to probably do a little too much there. And
Roop will knock it out of there with his right foot.
Obviously, it's tough when you haven't had many opportunities on a day. You want to make the most of what you get left there. And he tried to, but the defender was kind of in a good spot. So, but yeah, I mean that's
good turn there by Jackson Purdue, and can't keep possession. It'll go across the end line.
But that's a tough spot when you're in trying to build a program when you're in a league with a lot of established teams like Tri-Valley, Maysville, John Glenn have all been playing for almost probably 30 years, and Alexis has 5 or 6 years under its belt. So, for them, it's just trying to take those small victories each week and just kind of build on it. I mean, they've had some, been able to get some wins the last couple of years, and been more competitive. So it's just keeping that confidence.
With the new program, the other thing is you build in your youth leagues and all the things that you've got to do to kind of get education to the kids, and that develops as well. And
yeah, it's just tough when you have a roster with only one senior who looks like he was injured today because he didn't have his uniform on. But it's just tough to kind of do that when you're relying on a lot of underclassmen to kind of be your main guys, and they have to kind of grow on the fly. They don't get that chance to kind of grow and watch. But they'll definitely come around as the season progresses, and there'll be opportunities for them to get those wins and be in some games. So
13 minutes to go in this one. Getting a lot of young guys getting out there for Warren as well.
Yeah, it's just a tough thing in soccer. I mean, besides just keeping the clock running the whole time, there's not really any other way you can kind of shorten it, make it a mercy. I don't think you really want to, especially in the regular season. You want these kids to play all 80 minutes no matter what it is.
No, especially early. I mean,
you don't want to shorten a game to it's 10-0. It's over 5 minutes into the second half or something like that, and no one really gets to learn much.
Right.
So that's the tough part, But
and here's a break for Warren.
Yeah.
And just get in the left side. Alex, good job of predicting where it was going to go. Just could not quite get the hand on it.
Yeah, I think they thought that time was an offsides, and I think the pass was just made in the right spot. And that's just one of those spots where, they found the right lane, and the kid knocked it in. So
yep. No, did a good job. And he had someone open to his right, and you could just bet he was not going to make that pass.
Nope, and like I said, with these younger kids on Warren, and they're definitely going to make the most of their opportunities. And so, I've always been told by teams. I mean, I want the team that we're playing to keep attacking us no matter what the score is. It's worse to watch them play keep away and almost kind of tease you, and that can happen in soccer especially.
And ahead, and this time Alex will get it. I want to remind you that our game today is brought to you by the 21st Century program at New Lexington High School. If you want to get more information about that or enroll in that program, again, it's the 21st Century program, contact the school. We hope you will. Warren again, trying to find, again, they're kind of keeping their structure. That time Alex might have left his feet a little soon, but he ended up gathering it in. The other thing that he'll do as he gets a little more physical is he'll fall forward with that ball as he scoops it up with two arms right in the middle. That way you don't have any rebounds. Now, that time wouldn't have made any difference, but
No, but yeah, when you're in a close game, the last thing you want to do is give up extra opportunities, and so that will come with experience for him as a freshman. But
and you see that in the goal sports, whether it's hockey or field hockey or whatever, you just don't want to allow rebounds. Another good kick from Warren.
Yep, they're younger guys that found some space, and they're just taking those longer shots, and I think that's where, like you said, that's where the fatigue and that sort of stuff really sets in, because you could just kind of see that on New Lex's faces. But the bonus for them, and is it's the season's now underway, so now you just got to put the time and the work in and see what happens. So
we're under 10 minutes to go in this one, and Roop trying to pass it out, stolen away, and it will come, and Alex will run out to grab it. So he'll get to boot it out of there.
So, but the other bonus for New Lex fans too is that South 60 will have several of the other sports on throughout this fall here. So
yeah, good relationship with New Lexington Athletics.
You'll be able to watch girls soccer, volleyball, and I believe we'll be at all the home football games on Friday nights. So you'll be able to watch those live stream throughout the fall, and the schedule's probably there on South 60's Facebook page, and I'm sure that New Lex will probably put that out there as well.
Yeah, good relationship between those two, and I think everybody's thankful for it. The great, as we mentioned, great athletic program down here.
Yep, I mean, that's probably the one bonus of COVID was that a lot of schools were able to start doing live streaming and stuff like that, and it really has stuck at several schools, and I think that's really helps people get that out there. So I mean,
But the thing about live streaming, it can reach around the world, and we've been doing it long enough now, both here with the folks at South 60 and some other projects, and you realize you've got people. The first time we saw that we had servicemen and women watching it in the Middle East was really eye-opening.
Yeah,
they would stay up at some very strange hours to watch high school sports, and that you realize then how much that is part of our fabric as a person, to want to take part in those things.
Well, I think you definitely see that now with, especially high school football. It's so, there's so many people that move out of state, move to other parts of the country that want to watch what their high school, are doing, or you watch, family members being played and stuff like that. So, that's a really cool part about the live streaming part is that, if you're not in town, you can still watch your family and friends play and see how they're doing.
We had a player go down, but he looked to walk off under his own power. We'll get a substitute and be back at it.
So it looks like injuries must be the one time they do stop the clock here in a running clock situation.
That's right. And if you wonder when you're coming out, the clock will stop whenever you see the referee cross his arms over his head.
And then once he blows that whistle, it'll restart.
We're going to keep on going. I wouldn't mind, being an official at a soccer match, but only if I didn't have to wear that color green. If they'd let me wear, I like a nice beige. I don't know why we can't do the earth tones for officials, but that's not where it's going.
Nope. I guess no one's really got a bright green color for their school logo, so I guess that's definitely a
maybe
color
that's it. But if you interview them, that just is not working with the green screen at all.
Nope. So
we'd have to go blue on that. Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of. I'll give soccer officials credit. You got to be in pretty good shape to go up and down here.
Oh my gosh! No, they're going to know it. Good defense running down there was Baker to not allow the easy chance. Good job hustling down the field.
And you got to have good eyesight to pick out who the ball's off of sometimes.
Is that right? Well, that'll let me out.
Yeah. So.
No, I would have loved it. I umpired quite a bit, and it would have been fun to have that as your shirt umpiring. That would have been something. Pitchers might have complained about that a little bit. Only with the Savannah Bananas, maybe could you get away with that. So Warren a throw in, and the guy that's been in there the whole game, Barrow, really tough in that middle. He's got the ball right now. Working against Zane Hubble. Now they'll make the pass.
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing about games like this in soccer is that you rarely have 22 guys on a roster, so you're only going to have some starters playing later in a game like this. So,
which also means you're not doing 11 on 11 in practice. You're just working drills and.
Yep. I mean, a lot of times in practice, it's more like a 7-on-7 or 8-on-8, and you just kind of it helps with your spacing and your fine tuning. But
Heading it out of there, that was Baker again. He has been all over the pitch today.
But yeah, that's definitely the one thing for smaller programs is you're doing more skill work than you are actual gameplay.
Yep, definitely offside there. They're going to call that
in your practice. So that's why scrimmages, and I think that's probably why you want to play 2-3 times a week early in the season, because if you only have 15, 16 kids, you're not really playing much 7-on-7 and that sort of stuff in practice. So that's where you work more on your sets and your passing, that sort of stuff.
So again, we've got a running clock at this point. I was going to ask here in the booth if where South 60 is going to be next. We'll get that information to you. And they're going to go all the way back. That's the first action their keeper has had after coming in. That's Jonah Hollis. And I'll tell you, Warren has just been so good in the midfield today. That's where the experience has really paid off for them.
Yeah, you can just see their spacing and their passing is right at the feet. I mean, that's what takes some time to do is get that passing right to the foot, be very precise, and so that comes with age and experience. And these New Lux kids will kind of get there too. But that's definitely been a big part for Warren is being able to put the ball in the right spot where the guy's taking it on the run. He's not stopping and waiting for it. He's not trying to turn late, and that stuff sort of happens.
When you see the Warren side, too, they've kind of gotten used to where the defense is going to be and then how to beat it on the pass.
Yeah.
That happened there. There was a breakaway with a couple of players, and back into the game now for New Lexington is Alex Thorngate, one of the defenders. So our good friends at South 60 Films will be on Tuesday night. They will have who is playing Riverview? Also, New Lex will be playing Riverview here at New Lex at 7 o'clock. Again, that's Tuesday evening, volleyball, New Lex, and Riverview here at New Lex. Next soccer will be on August 27th. The New Lex girls will be playing Ridgewood, so that's at 6:30. So look forward to those things. Who knows, maybe a wayward former Zanesville play-by-play announcer can find his way down here once in a while. We'd look forward to that. So it'll be Alex to kick it away. Under 4 minutes to go in this one. And good job by Furby to keep it on his foot as he brings it out. And then hustling with it is Spawn as he tries to work against defense. And again, these New Lex kids have not put on the brakes here. They are still going full out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you see, like, that Spawn is probably going to be a pretty good offensive weapon. It's just, for a team like this, it's probably just trying to figure out who else is going to kind of help him out, take some of that pressure off because, with a team like this, it's so easy for the defense to focus on that one guy and put 2-3 guys around him.
Right, and it's like that, as you said before, it's kind of pass it to get it back.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, a little give and go.
And so New Lux will find out as the season goes. For them, we'll be trying to be able to get the attack and get some corner kicks, try to score in that route in the meantime. So, but
there you see Root playing some defense. The kick, and off his left hand still finds the edge of the net. It looked as though Alex was going to be able to knock that one away, and he did move it, but it's still just edged inside the right post.
So, yeah, Warren's taking some deep shots, and unfortunately they're still finding the back of the net there. But,
again, I love this week after the first game because you can talk a little bit as a former lower level coach. It's a time when you can talk to the kids with a little bit more information.
Oh yeah. So, and like I said, they're going to see some good offensive teams in the MVL, so this gives them that kind of idea of what they're going to be facing, and so they'll just have to kind of find their way through.
And free in front of the net, but good job by Roop to get his foot on it in front. That was all happening in the box. Under 2 minutes to go. This one should go over goal line. It does, although still a little pushing and shoving. I like it.
Warren's not going to quit either. I mean,
No, they're not.
So that's what you want to see these new S kids just learning how to. They face some adversity today. They got to be able to overcome that, but they haven't really quit. They've been after it. I think a lot of it's probably just getting that conditioning and getting used to the 80 minutes of hard play.
Moving it ahead was Nate Phillips trying to get down there and grab it. He wasn't afraid to.
Spawn sitting there trying to get it, and they get a throw in out of it.
Yep.
So their hustle's paying off. So see if we got about a minute here.
Spawn pretty physical on the pitch today.
Trying to see if they can sneak one in here, but that was a bad hop there for Riley Stoltz there, another freshman. So
inside a minute to go in this one. Long chance runner down the right side, left side. And see if Alex can get there. Bounces out of his hands, so it's still live. Good dive back onto it. Boy, he's still full out.
He stayed on it. I mean, he's made a lot of good saves there. So, you definitely see some positives out of him, especially as a freshman. He'll have a lot of room to grow, but he has the right idea. It'll just be, not being down on himself after a day like today.
Another chance, and this will go just under the crossbar and find its way in. So we're getting close to the end of it. 15 seconds to go, and of course, clock's still running with the deficit here. But again, a lot of bright spots today for the Panthers.
Yep. So I don't know if they're going to get a kickoff in before this. It looks like everyone's taking their time getting back.
I think that will do it. So a big win today for Warren, a more experienced club coming into New Lexington and Rockwell Stadium, and hats off to them as they'll have a pretty good season this year. You look down their roster and all the letters have been earned. They've got a lot of experience on that side of it. For New Lex, Brandon, it'll be about now learning from this, moving on, and again, we'll be able to see that with South 60 showing another soccer match with them down the road. You'll be able to see that kind of growth.
Yeah, that's all I got to do is just take from this match, try to look at the positives and just try to keep their heads up. Obviously, it's a long season. The first one didn't really go the way they probably were hoping it would, but they were playing a very experienced Warren team, and they're going to see that kind of experience in the MVL. So, for them, it's just keeping their heads high and just kind of building on some confidence and see where they go. You got a lot of underclassmen playing big minutes, so it will come with time.
Well, that will do it for us here on South 60 Films. Warren, the big winner today here in New Lex. For my broadcast partner, Brandon Hannes, I'm Kevin Rao.